Good evening, comrade subscribers. How are you? Thanks for hanging around. Where were we? So this is the PK-01 Lvov, otherwise known as the PC-01 Lviv. So a Ukrainian machine named after Lviv. Well, the Soviets said no, you can't have it called after a Ukrainian town. So we're going to call it the Lvov. One small change, I thought I'd try filming, so there is no 4K version. I'm trying 1080 60 frames per second, so I don't know if that's going to be more interesting or not. My phone can do 4K 60 frames per second, but because I use iMovie, it'll only do 30 frames per second in 4K, but it will do 60 frames in 1080. So I thought I'd give it a try. So it's not going to be a long video. Just trying to get back onto all these other projects that have gone by the wayside. So I don't know if you guys remember, but this is. Let me get these. So I got two more machines in various states. No idea if they work, because the problem is that they're 8080 based. So they need plus minus 5 volts and 12 volts. So, which isn't a problem, but I need to rewire the power supply to actually do it. I do actually have a power supply, but yeah, nah, I don't trust it. So let me just sort these out. This is my original machine. Which as far as I know doesn't work. For some reason. It's an interesting machine to work on because it's keyboard on one side and motherboard on the other side. I guess, well, one thing I haven't done is actually unscrew it. So I could actually do that and fold it out. So I've also got the PC-02 Kiev, or the PK-02 Kiev. I haven't tried that since I've added, because it got rated for the precious metals in the capacitors. So I have added in some replacement capacitors, mainly decoupling, but I've not tried powering it on yet. The interesting thing about these machines also is that it's inverted RGB. So you've got to run the RGB through an inverter, which isn't a big deal, but it's an extra step. So this is the power cable. Think back. So this is the the replacement power cable I made, because I've got a Meanwell power supply that's got a DIN 5 plug. So I've just put on a DIN 5 receptacle here. I've also done nice braiding as well. So I guess if I wanted to simply test those other two machines, I could just desolder it here and put it on the other one. So I might do that. I haven't opened them up, so like I said, they're in pretty rough shape. So who knows? They could work. I don't know. Video cable. So I've got this that I think this came with it. Oh, okay. Sorry, we're 50 hertz here, so the 60 frames per second is interfering. So I've got this that came with it. So here we can see video. I think that's common. So it looks like there is composite output. There's also this RGB. So I don't know why it's E. I don't know. Blah, blah, blah. RGB, and I think that's sync up there. And that's the pinout. So unfortunately I can't read cursive Cyrillic. So yeah, but I think I'm pretty sure I've got the pinout anyway. I just thought that was interesting. I know that says block something, so like block Britannia's power supply. We've got something up here as well, RGB. Actually, that's interesting. So they're written Cyrillic R, and then they've got Latin G and Latin B. Interesting kind of mixture. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, it's weird things that I find interesting. So yeah, not really sure what that's all about. Yep, sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, so this is my original machine. Not really sure the state. It's got interesting outputs. I can't remember. One of those is probably cassette. Actually, we should have a look in the back of the other ones. Okay, so here's one of the other ones. Probably in slightly better shape because it's got a keyboard, a spacebar. But yeah, just a reminder of what's on the back. So this plugs into the power supply. So like I said, I've got a Meanwell that's got this plug. So I've swapped that out for a socket, and then I can run it off that. So that's not a problem. Magnetophone, so cassette. I assume that's the video out. So I can't remember whether there is composite as well as RGB. I'll look on my sheet, and then we've got the two expansion buses. So this particular model, this particular example, actually doesn't seem to have a date on it. I thought it might have a date, but seems to not be there. Oh, sorry. Oh, okay, we've got a date stamped on it rather than handwritten. So September '89. So this is definitely Soviet manufacture. Got a little kickstand there. So it's not too bad ergonomically. Keyboard's a bit shithouse. But yeah, let's find what screws are remaining. There is one screw, two screws. There's two screws remaining. So let's pull this one apart. I don't know if I'll try parallels. So I was going to just have a short one tonight just to reintroduce this machine. I've actually got to start work at 4:30. Do some remote work in Japan. Well, I don't have to do anything. I have to look over someone's shoulder for them. So I better go to sleep rather soonish. Is there a security? That's not a security screw there, is it? Put down this way. Getting there. Okay, a little bit more on the screw. Yeah, that key definitely wants to come off. Don't lose the spring. Remind me I've got the spring there. Ah, so there is actually one more screw. I'll be back. There we go. Come on, I have unscrewed it. Just wants a little bit more. A little bit more love. So yeah, so out of all the machines, I think my original machine's probably got the best case and keyboard. There we go. So I'll definitely be using that, but who knows, maybe one of these will work. Okay, it's a bit different. Yeah, okay, it's a little different manufacturer. Okay, so we've got it's a KR580 VV55A, which, as you will no doubt, well, certainly long-time subscribers will know, is the Soviet 8255A clone programmable peripheral interface or whatever. So you'll see it on the expansion bus keyboard interface. So it's pretty standard. Okay, is that enough to lift that off? Yep. Okay. Oh, excellent. All these are socketed. That's a good start. My original one, only one of them socketed, but they all are ceramic. Interesting. Where's my loop? Alright, so you can... Alright, so you do have a tiny little window into the EPROM there. So I'm going to have to cover all those up, I think. So yeah, so all of them are nicely socketed. Just looking, so yeah, it's a different, what would I say? How would I say it? Let's get my, here's the original. So you can see the circuit board is different colour, and looks like, okay, so this one has been, unfortunately this one has been bloody pilfered. So for the sake of 5 rubles, they've kind of destroyed a, I don't know, 1,000 ruble computer. Well, considering the rarity, okay, maybe people in Soviet or ex-Soviet don't see the appeal of these machines, but yeah. So basically, you can see here that this has been gotten at. It's not a big deal because it's just basically decoupling capacitors that I can replace. But it's just, they've just gone through and snipped them all off for a couple of rubles of precious metals. So what you can see on here, have a look on my one. We've got the nice capacitors all intact. So if this one was to work, I'm going to have to first of all replace all the missing capacitors. I'm just saying, yeah, so it looks like the keyboard, the motherboard layout is slightly different as well. So, we've got so over here we've got this is RAM, 64 kilobit DRAM. Here's the same down here. But you can see obviously it's spaced a bit differently. So there has been some sort of motherboard revision, and you can see all the decoupling capacitors have been removed here, whereas they're all nicely still intact on there. Interesting, the oscillator is a separate little daughter board, whereas they've got a crystal attached to here. So I'm thinking that my original board here, I think this is I thought this was maybe a later, like a 91. I thought maybe this was a 91. I'll have to have a look on the back of the board, back of the computer. Anyway, so yeah, so this one requires some work, which means, yeah, I'm going to have to pull it apart. I'm going to have to pull the 2 boards apart so that I can go and replace all the decoupling capacitors. Okay, let's have a look at the third one. Before I go, just also comparing, this one seems to have maybe more bodge wires than this one. So maybe this is an earlier revision. Actually, I should be able to see something, shouldn't I? I'll have a look on the keyboard side up the top there. So I don't know if that's the relevant information there. Whereas on my one, let me have a look. Yeah, okay, so I guess one thing I can see immediately is that we've got a number 4. So maybe this is issue 4, revision 4, whereas this one here is maybe a revision 3. Okay, let me put these 2 aside and open up the third. And let me just check the date of my original machine if I can. Oh, okay, yes. definitely getting warm. Anyway, so yeah, my original machine's an April 91, so it is newer than that one. Okay, let's see. Okay, this one has only got 3 screws in it, so it's probably also been unfortunately ransacked by someone who couldn't give a shit about computers. I say, you know, for the amount of money you probably get from scrapping, from the scrapping a few components, you know, you could obviously think it's difficult at the moment. You can't just sell these things, but you know, there is a market for these, and you know, if you don't care about your computer history, people in the West certainly do, and they certainly find these machines fascinating. Well, I do. Alright, so we've got 4 screws out that time. To get them all the way out. Yep, okay, so this one, okay, is also a 4. So it's the same revision. Actually, it's newer because the board says 7. That's interesting. So the plaque is different as well. So this is a July 1991. 3 months earlier, this is the plaque. So quite a bit of difference in just 3 months. Things are pretty crazy then, I guess. So yeah, so this is the same revision board as my original machine. Revision 4. Though having said that, okay, so it's just, okay, yep, so this wire is just, sorry, you can't see what I'm doing, can you? This wire's just broken off there. Okay, let's, whoa, Phillips heads? What the hell? Jeez. Talk about a curveball. I've actually used Phillips head screws. It's very rare. Alright, so some Phillips heads coming out. At least it's good that they bothered screwing the board back in once they stole all the parts. Actually interesting also that the standoff between the 2 boards is now some sort of plastic rather than being screwed together. Okay. Where else is it being held in? Oh, there's one more up here. Yeah, is there another one? Where is there another one? Ah, down the front. Oh, okay. back to flathead. All right, what's the bet? Write your bet in the comments. You reckon this one's been pilfered? If so, they put all the screws back in. Okay, ready? What do you reckon? I don't think it's been pilfered. I reckon they've switched parts. So I've never seen these sort of ceramics and Soviet machines before. They look like Western parts. So 154. That's okay. That's a bit of a different value for the decoupling. Interesting that there's also some kind of all sorts of bodge wires as well. Okay, they've got this. Yeah, okay, so, and we've gone from the ceramics back to these plastic type of EPROMs with just the last one socketed. But yeah, so it looks like because they've used Western ceramic capacitors, everything's intact. So this might work. This has got the possibility of working. Yeah. Okay, so what I will do, not today because I need to go to bed. But yeah, you can see, I don't know, are they using Tesla? Using Tesla parts from Czech, or what are they using? Vicon. So they look like Western parts, Western capacitors. Okay. And yeah, they look like they've gone Western. Gembird. Oh, we've never heard of Gembird or seen Gembird. Not that I'm an expert. Yeah, okay. All right. Well, I hope that was of some interest. So I've got 3 machines. The oldest one has been pilfered, but has got... Let's go through them. Oh, I really hate these power cables. So all the original Soviet capacitors have been pilfered for a few rubles of precious metals, but all the ROMs are socketed. Then we've got my one, which I don't think works. Well, it didn't work when I last tested it. But it's got Soviet capacitors. It's got the new board design, but it's got ceramic ROMs, and the last one socketed. And then this is the latest one, which is so that was well, that was an 89 was the original. This is a 91, April 91, and then this is a July 91. And we've gone back to plastic dips for the EPROMs. Last one socketed, and some extra kind of bodge work up there. So what I will do is next video I'll take off the original power cable, put the new one on that I made, and then just double check the video out. Okay, that's actually been piggybacked there. That's interesting. I don't know why they did that. Oops. I've piggybacked those 2 chips there. In this one here, April, they have not piggybacked it. Okay. Anyway, there we go. Sorry, it was a bit disorganised. I haven't made a video in a while, have I? So I'm probably a bit out of whatever. But yeah, so I want to... Any advice getting these machines up? What do you reckon I should do? So I'm going to have a go. So this has got some extra work done on it, so I'll have a go at this one. Otherwise, yeah, let's see. I think I really need to pull them apart, get the boards apart. Obviously they're connected via this massive wiring here. So I don't know if there's any way I can kind of simplify that. Not sure. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. That's it for this one. Bye for now.